everyone, and welcome to week 3 of the Yoga Academy. In this week's episode, we're going to go through 4 parts of the Journey into Power sequence: opening, release, rejuvenation, and deep rest. And then once we go over those 4 parts, we'll once again do a short practice incorporating everything we've learned. So everything from the first 2 weeks plus what we've learned tonight. And we'll incorporate everything and do the entire Journey into Power sequence. It may be abbreviated in spots, maybe not as many repetitions of some poses, but for the most part, we'll do the entire thing. Now, the first thing we're going to do before we get into the actual poses in the different parts of the sequence this evening, we're going to do some warm-up just in case you haven't done a warm-up yet today, and you need to just warm up the muscles and get them going. So we are going to start as we always do in Child's Pose, and then we will do a few Sun Salutation A and a few Sun Salutation B. So let's start in Child's Pose. Put in Ujjayi breath. And that's a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, bringing the air through the back of your throat. Inhale. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Soften the knees. Take whatever movement you need to here in your first down dog. The elbows. Plant your hands down the mat. Push into each knuckle and remove the palms of the hands away from the mat. Your fingers are pressed down. The palms are light. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over. Press down into your feet. Rise up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, high to low plank. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more, inhale. Exhale. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins, forward fold, exhale. Thunderbolt, chair pose, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Right side, warrior one, step the pressure into your feet Ground yourself to rise up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Jump forward, but empty. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold over, breathe out. Thunderbolt. Press into your heels. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Chaturanga. Flow here. Vinyasa. Up dog. Down dog. Left side, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Now before we get into the sequence today that we are breaking down, we are going to take a break and take a sip of water. We're going to be doing some deep stretching today. So if you have a yoga block like this, it's a great tool. If not, you can get a book, a pillow, something else that you might need. You know, anything that's like soft, but still adds a little bit of firmness. You might want to grab that. So you can go get that, and then we'll get into our sequence for this evening. So the first one we're going to do is opening. And the first pose in opening is half pigeon pose. So we'll start on the right side, as we usually do in yoga. And half pigeon, you want to bring your right foot forward. So you can do it from down dog. It's usually, especially for beginners, a good way to do it. Bring the right foot forward. So you want your right heel facing the left side of the mat. And then you want to get your leg, your shin, parallel to the front of your mat. And then from here, you can stay up like this, or you can take a deeper fold all the way down on your own, or using a block or a pillow, whatever you have. Use it for your head. And then you want to press your right hip back, your left hip forward. And you should feel a deep stretch in your right hip. Maybe even a little bit into your right butt cheek. And this is a great pose if you sit all day. Really opens up your hips. Or if you're a runner, you have tight hips from running like I do. This is my favorite pose, my favorite yoga pose. I don't like to say that anyone's my favorite, but if I was pressed, this would be it. And in these poses and opening through deep rest the rest of the practice, we tend to hold the poses for a little longer. Since we're going to be doing them again in the flow, I'm not going to hold you too long here, but just know that usually in a class, these will be held a little longer. And then you can switch sides, so use your hands to press you up. Maybe go to down dog, left side, half pigeon. Something important to remember here, you can see my back toes are tucked. That helps to protect your knee. Make sure you tuck the back toes. And I even have to adjust my knee a little bit, my leg, with my hand, because my hips are so tight. Deep breath still, a deep giant breath. And from here, we're gonna go into double pigeon. So you're just gonna take your right leg and swing it around. And if your hips are open enough, go this way. If your hips are open enough that you can get your right foot on top of your knee without crunching up your leg too much like this, then do that. Like I said, my hips are really tight, and you also don't want this right knee to kind of pop up. If your hips are tight like mine, then there's a couple variations. You can grab your block or your pillow, and you can sit on it. And then you can bring your legs forward like that, so your pelvis is tilted forward. Or you can even maybe at this point bring your leg up, depending on your flexibility. Or you can, what I usually do actually, is take the block right in front of my knee and just rest my foot on the block. And then from here, you can just sit here with your drishti gaze straight ahead, or you can bend forward. Remember, keeping both feet flexed. And then we'll switch sides. Once again, we hold these poses a lot longer in the actual practice. We haven't done a full warm up today, so I want to make sure you're really warmed up. We'll hold them a little longer when we do our complete flow. You don't want to roll the back, so you can see I'm kind of rolling a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I lengthen my spine and then go forward. So maybe like certain days you're just not feeling it, you can just straight ahead, perfect. Then we're going to do frog pose, and I'll do frog on both sides so you can kind of see. My knees tend to really need cushion for frog, so I can't, people can do frog with just with their mat. I tend to need a little more cushion, so I have to be on my mat. You can bend the mat over if you'd like to get double cushion, but frog pose is exactly what it sounds like. You look like a frog. So I'll start on this side. Then you're gonna turn your feet at a 90-degree angle. I have to bend under my table here, but and then you can put this block under your chest or under your head, and then bring your hips back towards your ankles. And unlike the last two poses we did, this pose you'll feel the stretch on your inner thighs, more like in the groin area. And to really get the full benefit of this stretch, you want to bring the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. I'll show you again on this side. See where you might want to place your block. I like to put mine under my chest. And then once again, the front of the pelvis up towards the belly button. Probably a little out of the camera view here, but at least you can see my legs now at this point. And then once again, we hold this longer, but we're gonna slowly press ourselves up, coming out of frog. And that is the end of opening. The next part of the sequence, next section of the sequence is going to be release, and that starts with single leg extension on the right side. So we'll start on the right side once again. Right leg forward, left foot, sole left foot placed into your right thigh, and then we're gonna bend forward. So we're gonna inhale, lengthen our spine, exhale, bend forward. And the stretch here is not really for the hamstrings. The stretch is in your lower back. So if you're less flexible, you might need to bend your knee a little more to get to your feet. Or maybe not even get to your feet at all, maybe just get to your ankle or your shin. So you want to feel the release in the low back, and you don't want to round your back. So inhale, exhale. You can see here, I'm starting to roll a little bit, so I'm going to bend my knee even more. Stay here, or you can come forward. Feeling the release in the low back. Inhale, come up, switch sides. Right foot to left thigh. Exhale, fold forward. You might notice, like, I'm a little tighter on this side than I am on the right side. That's normal. You might need to bend the left leg more or less. Or you might have to, once again, grab maybe at your ankle or your shin. Releasing the low back. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up. Exhale, seated forward fold. This time it's both legs. Bending as much as you need to. And some people who are very seasoned yogis, have been practicing a really long time, who are just extra flexible, and actually have their legs straight and bring themselves completely, their chest completely flat to the thighs. So it's really just a matter of flexibility, and the more you do it, the more flexible you'll get. And sometimes, like, there is a point where maybe your body just doesn't go that way. You always just want to take yourself to your edge of the pose. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Breathe in. Breathe out. And come up. The next part of the sequence is rejuvenation. And we're going to start with reverse tabletop, or reverse plank. Reverse tabletop. Press your feet, four corners of your feet onto your mat, and then your hands are going to go behind you with the fingertips facing your, fingertips facing. It's been a while since I actually explained this. Yes, facing the feet, and then you're going to just go up. Or reverse plank would be a plank pose, just the opposite. So you want to keep your heels on the ground, and then press up. Bringing the head of the belly button towards the center of the spine. Drishti, love you. And come down. Next is fish pose. And fish pose is a heart opener. You're going to really want to come on the crown of your head. So really the easiest way to do that, I think, is to lay on your back and then slide your head under you towards the crown. So if you're back, pressing your forearms into the mat, and then slide the head back, the chest up. And then you can point the toes. This is actually the only pose in the Journey into Power sequence that we point our toes. Usually we're flexing our feet. And then you can have Ujjayi breath, or you can take lion's breath, which is opening your mouth wide on your exhale and moving your tongue around. So take some cleansing breaths here, whatever suits you. And slowly come down. Next pose, we're going to do an inversion. So if you have been practicing a while, maybe handstand or traditional headstand is in your practice, and you can always practice against the wall for extra support. But two poses that pretty much most people can at least do partially and get into the pose are either waterfall pose, just hips on a block, or shoulder stand. If you have tight shoulders, shoulder stand might be a little rough at first, so you maybe try hips on a block and then move on to shoulder stand. So I'll show you both of those right now. First of all, hips on a block, waterfall pose. Exactly what it sounds like, hips up on a block, put the block under your sacrum, and then stick your legs straight up. Once again, flexing your feet, pressing your heels towards the ceiling. And whenever you're in an inversion, you want to tuck your chin and not look around. That is one way that you can injure your neck. And then I'll show you shoulder stand, so I'll come off and hit the block. shoulder stand. Up on my shoulders, pressing my feet up towards the ceiling, supporting my low back with my hands. If you have a ponytail, I should put my ponytail out because sometimes the ponytail can make this a little more difficult. And then from here you can go to plow pose. Once again, supporting your low back unless you can get your feet all the way to the floor, which I cannot. Flexing your feet. And then from here, you can go into death hands pose by bringing your knees around your ears or towards your forehead. And then slowly come down. Okay, and that is rejuvenation. And it's really an even easier option for that is you can just put your legs up on a piece of furniture up the wall, bringing your butt as close to the wall as you can and just letting your legs rest on the wall. It's really good to do this if you once a day, if you can, or more, because our body is so used to the blood flowing the opposite way. So it's good to get the blood flowing the opposite way, and that is why it's part of the rejuvenation sequence. It's supposed to rejuvenate you. The last part of our turning into power is the deep rest. So once we come on our back from our inversion, bring our knees to our chest, and then either taking one or both knees, we're going to twist to the left. Move over a little bit so you can see this. Twist the left. I like the one knee just because I feel like it gives me a better stretch, but you could do both. And you're going to twist your knees towards the left and then look towards the right. Arm out to the right. You should feel the twist here in your hip. Both shoulders should be pressed down to the mat. You don't want to have the right shoulder come off like this. Not getting the full advantage of the twist. Maybe just don't twist as much. So really work on keeping your shoulders pressed into the mat. And then come back to center. And then we'll twist one or both knees to the right and look to the left. And then come back to center. We'll take another Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet touch, knees out to the side. And this time bring your arms overhead. Grab opposite elbows. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Shavasana. Corpse pose. And final rest. So we went over this before, but Shavasana. Just going to lie there with your feet straight in front of you. Hands to the side. Palms can be up or down. Eyes can be closed or have a soft gaze. And then just breathe. Relax. And since we're going to incorporate that into our full practice, we won't do that for too long right now, but we'll get along to Shavasana later. Now we're going to start the whole practice. We're going to take everything we learned the last 3 weeks, and we're going to incorporate it into a flow. So, as we always do, we'll start in child's pose. Spread your fingers wide, press into your hands, press into the tops of your feet. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Walk your feet to your hands for ragdoll. Press into your feet, create foundation so that you can be loose, upper body, sway, or take stillness. Inhale, bring your feet together, rise up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Soft gaze of your middle fingers. Breathe in for 3 ohms. Extended mountain pose, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Step or jump forward. Normally we do 5 of those. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And since we're doing a breathing aid practice here, we'll go into sun salutation B, thunderbolt. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, lift. Exhale, chaturanga, which you guys already did a few to start off with. Upward facing dog, press the thoracic spine forward towards the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right side, warrior 1. We'll look up to come up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior 1. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And normally we do 5 of those, 5 some Bs. But you guys should be nice and warmed up now. So we'll move on. Lift your right leg. Open up your hip. Stay here. Or lift your dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. High plank. Side plank, right side. Bring the pit of the belly in towards the spine. Press into your feet to lift your hips. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Use your left leg. Open up. Stay here, flip. Your drishti back. Breathe in. Breathe out. High plank. Side plank. Chaturanga. Slightly in front of you. Up dog. Down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, right side crescent lunge. Drishti to bring you up, help you with your balance. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale out completely. And then twist right. Press into your back leg. Allow softness in your front knee. From here you can express out. Hand down, a bind or a half bind. Warrior two. Breathe in, bring the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Breathe out, extended side angle. Pressure for a block here. Breathe in. Breathe out, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, crescent lunge. Round down to all four corners of your left foot, but be able to lift your toes. Spread them wide on the mat. Spread your back toes as well. Hands to heart center. Twist to the left. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, bring your front knee over your front ankle. Put the front of the pelvis up towards the belly button. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, extended side angle. And you can either don't have a block, you could also put your hand on your knee. Make sure that you're not leaning your weight on your knee. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Once again, you can do chaturanga from your knees. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look between your hands. Jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over. Feather bowl. Bring your big toe down to touch, slight space between your heels. And press into your heels. Sit your butt back. Hands to heart center. Just to the right. Come back to center. Twist to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out, fingers to toes, forward fold. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Bend your knees as much as you need to send your chest towards your thighs. Palms to toes, forward fold. Slide your hands under your feet. Bring them, your feet up to your wrist creases as close as you can get. Soften your elbows, soften your knees. It's not a check out pose, this is a check in pose. Hug in, skin to muscle to bone. Crow pose or crow prep. But you won't know if you can do crow until you try. Until you fall a few times. Spread your fingers wide, lean forward, look slightly ahead, lift your feet up. Again. And chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step or jump forward. I want to just face you guys just so you can see. Eagle on the right side. Right leg over, right arm under. Or grab opposite shoulders. Switch sides. Do left arm under or shoulders. Grab your right knee or right big toe. Soften your left knee. Whoop. Helps. One of those balance days, we all have them. Soften, open up to the right, look to the left. Bring the knee down to your hips. Same hip height as your hips, not above them. This should help with your stability a little bit. And then come back to center, and we'll turn this way to airplane pose. Press your shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Half moon. Flex your feet. Breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Rise up. Now stand this way. This side, left side. Standing leg raise. Look to the left, look to the right. Drishti over your thumb. Come back to center. Airplane, left side. Drop your left hip to meet your right hip. Bring your right hip into your right thigh into your hip socket. The hook ground you on the right side. And then a half moon. If you come out, just go right back in. Equanimity, this is about finding the balance of effort and ease. And forward fold. Rise up. Dancer on the right. Grab your right inner ankle. Soften your left knee. And switch sides. Dancer on the left. And tree pose on current face you again. Remember, on your thigh or on your calf, not on your knee. Right now, you can see I'm pressing my heel into my thigh. And then express out. Switch sides. Do it. This way, I'll do it on my calf this time. You can do arms behind you, look up. Like whatever your tree looks like. Maybe you want to do like a swinging tree where expression comes in. Hug in to express out. And come down. So mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle pose. Come up. Side facing, wide leg forward fold, hands on your hips or reclined. Inhale, come up. Exhale, namaste, front facing forward fold. Press both hips straight back. Remember, if you need to adjust your feet to ground down to the four corners of both feet, then do that. You might have to adjust them not only front to back, but left to right. Hands on hips or any bind. Twisting triangle, left hand down, right arm up. That trick, if you remember from week 1, bring your, actually from 2, your shoulder, arm into your shoulder socket, and then reach up and back. Breathe in. Breathe out, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side triangle. And don't forget, you want 3 points of contact. So if you can't reach the ground with your left hand without bending over, grab a water bottle, grab a block, grab a book, whatever you have nearby to rest your fingertips of your left hand. Come up. Side facing, wide leg forward fold. Once again, bind or hands on hips, your choice. And the bind is your choice. You could do opposite elbows, namaste hands. Grab a strap or a belt. And come up. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale. Exhale out, completely twisting triangle. Breathe in. Breathe out, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. High plank, roll forward, lower down, slowly to 3, 2, hug in, 1. We are igniting, so turn on the tapas, the inner fire, go up 4, locust pose. Straight down in front of you, and come down. We'll do 2 locusts, go up, pressing C7, spine up towards the ceiling. And come down. Next, floor bell. It's a little difficult to see here, so hopefully you can see. All right, we're gonna grab either one foot or one ankle or both ankles. So you're gonna do one ankle the opposite, the outside of your right ankle. Or you can grab both. And come down. And if you grab the right, grab the left this time, or go back up, full floor bow, tongue twister. Pressing your shins towards the back of the room, back of your mat. And come down. Take a cheek. And bring your hands to your low rib cage, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Oh, my hand's a little stuck. There we go. Come to your knee for camel pose. And we're just gonna do one camel. So shoulders up to your ears. Sorry for the bad shadows in here. And then straight back. Reach for your ankles, but press into your legs to get you there. And come up. Let me see if this is any better. No, it's not. Okay. Now bring your legs through for bridge pose. So lie on your back. And once again, you can use a block if you want here. Give yourself supported bridge. I'll show you actually two ways. I don't know if we went over this last week in planning, but you can use a block for bridge. You bring your feet as close to your butt as you can. Press to all four corners and lift up. Take my hair out of this holder again. And then come down. Now we're going to go into wheel pose. So from bridge, we're going to go into wheel. You really can't see me there with that light. And I'm going to put a block between my legs this time. That will help keep my legs in line and prevent them from splaying out. So I'm going to squeeze into the block, go up to bridge, and then from bridge, wheel or wheel prep. Your chin, come down. Bridge or bridge to wheel, go up. And come down. Bridge or bridge to wheel, go up. Another bridge for you here, put your arms to the side. Once again, squeezing in. From skin to muscle to bone, hug in. And come down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can go on your chest and your belly if you like. Dead bug. Push your hips down, lift your feet up. And then set up for stability. Keep the legs up, drop the hands. Just cradle the back of your head if you want. Or you can do hands to the side. Drop the right leg, crunch up 5 times to the left leg. Very tiny crunches using your belly, your core. 5, not your neck. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bring both legs straight up. Down 30. Another 30. To a hover. And then bring your knees into your chest. Take a breath here. We're going to set up for abdominal twist. So opposite armpit to opposite knee. Knee is not going to go past the hip to really get the benefit of the crunch. Right leg out. We'll do 10, switching sides. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, flex your feet, 2, 1. Press into your sits bones, come up for boat pose. I feel like I'm on Blair Witch Project right now because this light behind me makes me have a very scary shadow, like I should be telling you a ghost story. But just as scary could be boat pose if you hold it for a long time, hugging into center, pressing your chest forward, and then rock back. And we'll meet in half pigeon pose. Actually, I'm gonna go this way. Right side first. Forget if you want to grab your support here, take a drink. But then fully relax into the pose. If breathing gets slower, that's fine. Just be intentional with it. And switch sides. Hair back up here. Tends to fall into my face in these poses. When I first started doing yoga, I had all these preconceptions of what a yogi was, what a yogi looked like, and what kind of poses they could do and how they did them. One of the themes of Baptiste yoga is give up what you must. And you are ready now. Another one. And the third one is to be a yes. What I've learned over these last 5 years is that I have to incorporate all of them into my practice all the time. There are days I don't want to do yoga, but I have to be a yes for it. There are days I compare myself to others. I have to give that up. And there are days when I'm not sure if I'm ready to move on to the next stage of pose. But I have to at least try. Slowly come up into double pigeon. How we practice on our mat, how we live life off of our mat. Once we start incorporating those themes into our practice, and learn to incorporate them into our lives. Just think about where you could be a yes today. You can give up what you must. And where you can come from, you are ready now. Switch sides. Once again, soften your gaze. If you want to look down towards the mat, it's fine. Or look straight ahead. It's a restorative part of the sequence. So let your body feel itself here in these poses. Frog pose. And this way. Stay on my mat here. Check my knees. Lift the front of the pelvis up towards the spine. You can bring the hips back towards your ankles. Press yourself up. Single leg extension on the right side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Switch sides. Your shoulders away from your ears. Soften your back. Seated forward fold. Look up. And then release. Reverse tabletop or reverse plank. Look up here. Press into all four corners of your feet to lift your chest up. And come down. Fish pose. Really open up your chest here. Open up your heart. Version of your choice. So waterfall pose, shoulder stand, headstand, traditional headstand, handstand, whatever's in your practice calling you right now. Or you can do legs up a wall. Where I was telling you that is something super simple you can do anywhere. Grab a piece of furniture. Right? We're all practicing from home now. I think once I do go back to the office, I might start incorporating that into my lunchtime routine. I might get a few weird looks, but it does really rejuvenate the body. And slowly come down. If you're in shoulder stand, you can go to plow pose. If you're in waterfall, you can just repeat back up. If you're in headstand or handstand, come into child's pose for a few breaths. If you're in plow pose, you can now go to deaf man's pose. And if you're in deaf man's pose or legs up a wall or waterfall pose, slowly come down. Bring your knees up to your chest. Supine twist to the right. Your knees to the right, look to the left. Shoulders placed firmly on the mat. And switch sides. Hopefully you can still see me. We're almost there. It'll be perfect lighting for Shavasana. Supta Baddha Konasana. Once again, arms overhead. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. Shavasana, final rest. Bring this movement back to your hands and feet. Roll over to your right side in the fetal position. And come up to a seat with your eyes closed, your gaze soft and gentle towards the floor. Bring your hands to your heart center. And we'll conclude the practice with 3 Ums. Breathe in. Hands to your forehead center. We bow together and say, Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me in these last few weeks for this 3-week series of the Yoga Academy. We're going to be bringing more content and programming to you. Asana practices like this, the actual physicalness of yoga, meditations, and maybe some inquiry coming up a little later too. We'll talk about that. Maybe some programming coming up in the fall, 40 Days to a Personal Revolution program. But if you want to find out about all of those things, and the ones we've already done, we've done probably a good dozen or so videos so far. Check us out on our website at courageouswarriorcoalition.org, and then Courageous Warrior Coalition, all the social media, all those also linked from the web page for all the videos available. This video, as well as the last 2 weeks, will be up on the web page, so you can access it anytime. And if you want to email us, if you have any suggestions for programming you want to see, you can email us at courageouswarriorcoalition@gmail.com. Once again, I'm Gina. I'm the founder of the Courageous Warrior Coalition, and we really want to hear from you guys and see what kind of programming you would like and what kind of programming you need. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe, and thanks again.